everyone. Welcome. Welcome. I'm bringing you the new moon in Aries reading for the collective. The new moon will be at its peak 10:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's going to be 7:31 p.m. on the West Coast and probably early Sunday morning across the pond and around the rest of the globe. So check your local listing for the peak of the new moon for you. But this is the new moon in Aries, and there are a couple of interesting aspects I want to talk to you about. First, Aries, obviously the first mansion of the zodiac, and this is like the beginning. Aries season is the beginning of our next trip around the sun in terms of the zodiac. So it's like the sun's new year. And if you follow your natal chart, where the first house is, there's always Aries influence. No matter what planets are in your first house, there's always Aries influence, and it's about the I am principle, right? I am. We recognize ourselves first when we come into being. You know, that first incarnation is, oh, I am Laura. This is who I am. So it's just an interesting energy, and the Aries new moon is always about setting our intentions around our goals and our ambitions, what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm kind of going to say it's a little bit different than the energy we just came through, the Pisces new moon last month, the full moon in Libra, all very balanced and lots of Venusian energy in there, in a place where she's comfortable. Venus is still in the mix, so we do want to lead with love, but she's not comfortable in Aries. So, right, she doesn't like all that Mars energy. It's too masculine for her. So she's not really comfortable. So she's not a major player. But I will tell you who is. We have got Mercury in conjunction with the sun and the moon. And so that's about our thoughts, right? So it's a perfect opportunity for manifesting, because what's really needed for manifestation and creation is that your head and your heart need to be in alignment. And so that's where Venus comes in, because our heart is still there. Venus is still there. And so the issue with manifestation is, and I took notes on this, is that your head and your heart need to be in alignment. And for many of us, that's very difficult to achieve, because we can want things in our minds, right? We can have this intention in our head about what we want, what we desire to bring about, but we don't necessarily feel we deserve it for whatever reasons. And that can be past wounds, childhood wounds, linear wounds. It can be recent experiences in our connections, especially if we're talking about relationship. So here's the thing. This new moon has everything in alignment, head and heart, in that I am principle and that initiation. Aries is a cardinal sign, getting things started, kicking things off. Nike's Just Do It is embodied in this new moon. But here's the thing. Now that our head and heart are aligned with Venus and Mercury in this new moon, we might just be able to manifest if we really believe and feel into what we deserve. Got it? So the whole point is, if you don't believe you can, that you deserve something, you can't create it. You can't manifest it. You can attract it, but it will not stay. You can attract it for a very finite period. It will not stay. If with your initial intentions, you didn't believe you were worthy, you didn't believe you deserve it. So all your intention setting for this new moon, please, 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 somewhere in there, whether it's your meditation, whether it's in a ritual, whether it's in, like, I'm old school, I just bullet point this stuff. I just write bullet point, blah, 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 bullet point, blah, blah, blah. That's my Virgo linear mind. And I'm just going to talk about my intentions for what I know I deserve, what I believe at my heart, in my heart of hearts, deserve is such. And now I've got my mental energy, my thinking wrapped in with my feeling, and then I set that intention and offer it out to the universe. Very exciting new moon. So I just wanted to say that. Those are my notes. That's what's most important. So I want to do this reading today for the collective, as I always do, starting with the Queen of the Moon Oracle. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I know I always give a little bit of instruction. It's been a couple minutes now of instruction about the new moon or the full moon, whatever I'm reading about, so that you know the energy that's informing this reading. This is a date or time specific reading because it's about this particular lunation. Most of my readings are not date or time specific. This one is. So I'm going to pull from Queen of the Moon Oracle, where we've been, where we are, where we're headed. Oh gosh, this is so perfect. I can't even. Okay, so where we've been, card 23, gratitude. Gratitude, having come through this last part of the lunar cycle. You know, we can look at it as the new moon is when we set our intentions, right? The full moon is when we begin to see it appearing, right? Or not. So in other words, at the full moon, we kind of express our gratitude for what we've been able to sort of learn from the experience from the last new moon, from what we've been able to manifest for ourselves. And then we release what didn't quite work for us. We release anything that isn't serving us going forward to the next new moon. So the gratitude from that Libra full moon at the end of March. So this is where we've just come from. I'm kind of doing these new moon, full moon readings based on a 28.5 to 29 day lunar cycle. Where are we now? Trust. Another 5. 23. 2 and 3 is 5. Trust. 3 and 2 is 5. So this trust energy is right now, we're kind of trusting. We've expressed our gratitude. We've released what wasn't serving us from our last new moon in Pisces. We've done a lot of healing because Chiron was there, Venus was there, and now we just trust in our own ability to know that we can have an impact on and affect the outcomes that we desire. And then look what we are going to. Card number 2, new beginnings. New moon, new beginnings. What does that look like to you? Doesn't that look like an Ace of Pentacles? So if there's something you're trying to manifest in terms of career, a business idea, a new project you're setting out on, or just taking your connection to the very next level and having it anchor in some very grounded 3D way, that is where we are headed. Card number 2, you and the other. I'm loving this already. I'm very excited. As you know, I get very excited when the Oracle speaks to me. It doesn't always, gotta admit. So I'm just going to do an abbreviated Celtic cross. I'm looking at relationship. That's what I read on. So if you're new to the channel, that's the thrust. It's always twin flame soulmate related. Just happens to be my area of personal experience, professional experience. And so I am speaking to that. And hey, by the way, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Click the like if you're enjoying the reading. I would really appreciate that. Don't forget to check out the membership. We have membership levels in this channel. If you go into the description box and just scroll down a little bit, there should also be a join box next to the subscribe button to check out the memberships. I offer lots of extra readings there. For the second tier, there are master classes. We do deep dives. We did one on Akashic Records. The next one is very likely going to be on twin flame, soulmate, and karmic partnerships, kind of what they are and what they're not and how to tell the difference. Okay. Let's see. Wow. So what's happening in this moment? What's our state of mind? What are we thinking about in this moment of powerful, powerful intention? The Lover's card. I'm using the Light Seers Tarot because I want to keep the energy uplifted and positive, and I love this deck, but it's very artistic and you need to use a lot of interpretation. The Lover's card is a card of choice, but it's also a card of union, right? For some of us, reunion. Wow. What's crossing that? Oh my God, I can't even with this reading. The Devil. So there's that karmic energy, shadow energy. We've got We've got light and shadow right in these two cards. And now I'm just going to take a minute because it's really kind of pulling me back. If you have not watched, at the end of this video, there will be two thumbnails that come up. One is a playlist, the other one is a video. I'm going to make it the full moon in Libra. So even though we're out of the full moon in Libra energy, that's okay. Because the title of that reading was The Inner Forces of Light, of Dark, or Shadow versus Light, right? How do we deal with the shadow while staying in the light? I feel it's kind of making its reprise. The Lovers and the Devil. There is a choice to be made, and it may have to do with a karmic pattern, a cycle, right? What are our intentions in dealing with this energy? What's crossing the union or reunion for some of us? Gemini and Capricorn show up here. Wow. Underneath, the Fool. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this reading. I want to cry. So the Fool, what's below us is kind of like when I pull from underneath the deck. What's in our psyche? What's really kind of guiding and motivating our behavior, even unbeknownst to us, is this desire to kind of just take the leap, right? Just want to take the leap. I just want to risk it all for love here. I want to risk it all. Oh my gosh, I want to risk it all. But what's crossing us is this energy. I'm just right? So, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm getting very excited. So now we have Gemini, Capricorn, and Aquarius. In the past, Eight of Swords. So recent past or long ago past, however this speaks to you. I'm just speaking to the general collective here. The Eight of Swords is about sort of feeling trapped in our own thinking. So that can be overthinking a situation, overanalyzing a situation, to the point where it renders us motionless. We can't take advantage of the beautiful new moon in Aries if we're in the the Eight of Swords energy. And since that's in the recent past, it means that this decision that needs to be made has been kind of on hold, because we've just been running through all the permutations in our mind. If A, then B. If B, then C. Well, what if E comes in? Like, how do we do this? Overthinking, overthinking, overthinking. And feeling trapped and stuck in a karmic pattern. Both of these cards, Eight of Swords and the Devil, represent that sort of loop. Something we kind of can't escape. Now, in the case of the Eight of Swords, it is a prison of our own making. So just FYI. That may be something that has been plaguing us, as we've kind of just stayed stuck, and we can free ourselves at any time. What's crowning us here? Five of Swords. This card has been coming out a lot. I'm not a fan. You know, I've said it 100 times. I'm not a fan of this card, but because it's crowning us, to me, what crowns us is usually what we're really working towards consciously to resolve an issue. That's what's crowning us. So under here is what's like this Fool is what's underneath, right? What's kind of guiding and motivating our behavior. But this is conscious. This is unconscious. This is conscious. So we're aware here that the deck may be stacked against us, that there may be somebody playing a zero-sum game. This card can represent gaslighting. This card can represent gossip. This card can represent somebody who just moves the pieces around on the chessboard so they always come out ahead. And so therefore we feel like we don't have, it's all stacked against us. We cannot possibly win. So there is an imbalance here. Look at this guy holding his head while all these crows are coming at him. And he can't kind of find his way clear. So the fact that this is coming out at the top, what's crowning us is this is what we're trying to resolve. Powerful. Future, Four of Wands. Well, there's your twin flame energy, that 1111 in most decks. Here you could kind of see it way off in the background. It's not part of the, but there's celebration here. There's ritual in the Four of Wands. There's celebration in the Four of Wands. We're coming together. You know, the lovers coming together in the Four of Wands is what I see. So whatever choice we're working on here with the intention and the power and the thrust of this new moon in Aries, the outcome involves the coming together. Oh, feels so good. Beautiful reading so far. So let's go ahead and take a look. I am going to just move some of the cards around. You know I do this all the time. If you're new to the channel and it annoys you, my apologies. But I start off feeling like I know how everything's laid out, and then I find out I got to move it around. I'm thinking ahead of time here. Okay, lovers. Let's see. Lovers. Why is the lovers here? King of Cups. So there's the King of Cups can be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but it's about emotional availability. So whatever choice you're making, you know, whether you're here as a masculine archetype or a feminine, whether you're here as a divine masculine, divine feminine, doesn't really matter. I'm speaking to all energies here, but there is a masculine energy in the mix that needs to kind of choose whether they're going to be emotionally available and invest in this connection. The King of Cups is always high vibration love, unless he's in reversed energy, which means that it can kind of be more needy. There can be more a spiritual bypass with a King of Cups in reverse. So if you are in a King of Cups energy, you really have to focus on your emotional availability and vulnerability. And that's all at the level of choice. If you're here as a divine feminine, it involves, your choice involves whether or not you're dealing with somebody who is ready to be available or vulnerable in this situation. Boom, somebody coming back. Knight of Wands, there may be some impulse energy here. The Knight of Wands is very passionate, happens to be Sagittarian energy. Grand gestures, think sweeping grand gestures of passion. Somebody coming in to kind of say, you know, I'm here to save the day. I want you, I need you. There's a lot of masculine energy in the King of Cups and the Knight of Wands. The issue with the Knight of Wands is they don't always have staying power. So let me see what's on the bottom. Magician. So I feel as if on some level we are manifesting the return of passion, the return of passion with someone who's emotionally available. So that's the situation. What's crossing that? The Devil. The Devil energy, sometimes, you know, a cigar is just a cigar. Sometimes the Devil's just about stubborn energy. Somebody with their heels dug in. A lesson to be learned. Saturn rules Capricorn, so the Devil is often about learning lessons, karmic lessons. I mean, just look at him. Like, he's super gorgeous. You know, his hair flying in the wind and he's reaching his hand out. He's all, you know, kind of, I don't know. Don't make me say it, guys. I don't know. I feel it's sexy, and I kind of feel as if that's part of the allure, the darkness, the mysteriousness, that, you know, that sort of edgy. I'm feeling the edginess. But what we really want is we want love and passion. King of Cups, Knight of Wands. We want love and passion. We got to choose. How, you know, do we keep kind of going around in the same cycles that are dark and karmic so that we have to keep learning the same lessons over and over again? Get it? Yeah. See? Keep learning the same lessons over and over again. Nine of Cups, some complacency. Wow. So what's challenging us is that Nine of Cups is blocking this happiness because we kind of settle for repeating old patterns of the past, so maybe even a karmic lesson in this connection that we keep just saying, yeah, you know, I'm going to take it because if this is as good as it gets, I'm okay with it. Well, that's blocking our happiness. This is a challenge card. So I feel as if this choice that we need to make in the Lover's energy, you know, trying to manifest this love and passion in this moment of being shot out of a cannon, like the new moon in Aries is. Old patterns of behavior and complacency can make it very difficult for us to find our happiness, to have a positive, successful outcome. Really powerful, powerful. So, hold on. The Fool is beneath. Wow. So I'm feeling as if underneath there's, you know, part of the risk is we may be dealing with player energy, you know, liar, cheater, stealer energy, especially with that devil coming in. You know, what parts of this connection that repeat, that are toxic or karmic, leave us feeling as if we've been taken. Got it? So this Fool energy of I'm ready to take a calculated risk that I may get taken for a fool. I may get taken for a fool. Chariot. But my goal is to come through it victoriously. Crazy. With the Twin. So there's an unconscious psychic belief here. When I say psychic, I mean in your psyche, in your psychological realm, that you are dealing with a twin, and that you are in fact taking this risk. Now remember, this is kind of what we're pushing down, what we're trying to keep below the realm of conscious awareness, is that, yeah, the risk, Fool, the calculated risk may be that I end up, you know, drawing the short stick. And yet I feel on some level that it's worth the risk, because I intend to come through it victoriously. Chariot, moving forward with this twin. So as long as we know that we're taking a calculated risk with somebody who may be serving their own purposes, okay, all's fair in love and war. But what I'm saying is this part is what's beneath. We're not allowing it into our conscious awareness, so therefore we're kind of fooling ourselves. Seven of Swords can be fooling yourself. So I just want to say what's showing up here above is we know we're dealing with a pattern that hasn't served us well. Are we going to kind of rest on our laurels here and just stay complacent and tolerate it again and risk the continued lack of happiness or success in this relationship? What are we really trying to manifest here? And if we're pushing down the very reality that we may get bit in the you-know-what again, I think I'm calling it, you know, in the energy to your attention, to our attention as a collective, so that we don't dismiss the very realities of what we've been dealing with. Because you kind of have to know when you're setting intentions, you're setting it with, you're setting intentions from past experience, bringing it into the present, and you have to learn from it. So if we're kind of repressing it, we're not really learning. So I just want to say that. Eight of Swords in the past. Feeling stuck, trapped, not knowing our next best step. Staying in the realm of thought, not dealing with the emotions. Three of Pentacles. So for some of us, this Three of Pentacles can represent third-party energy. I always like to see the Three of Pentacles as more co-creative. You, your divine counterpart in spirit, working on creating a stable foundation, building on what you already have. It does require that co-creative spirit in the here and now, not knowing how to bring that about in the past, but staying in the energy of unconditional love. So if you're here as a masculine energy, you may have been stuck with how to create this kind of co-creative moment with your divine feminine. If you are here as a feminine energy, it's about how do I stay in my divine feminine unconditional love energy when I'm feeling so sort of trapped and stuck and trying to manifest the Magician, this co-creative experience in the connection and building upon it, but not knowing the next best step. It may have required some form of reconciliation. That was the goal underneath. What was bubbling up under the surface is how do we kind of come through this together? This is another victory card. right? A win-win outcome with that wreath of peace is what was the goal or part of the motivation underneath. But right here, what's crowning us in the here and now is this Five of Swords. This is something we're trying to resolve to have the best outcome possible. End of a painful cycle. Five of Swords, Ten of Swords. How do I put an end to this cycle that feels unfair, unbalanced, certainly one-sided, and maybe even some form of sabotage, like where we feel we've been set up? How do we bring an end to that cycle? Because it's been painful. So the Ten of Swords, when the tens show up, it represents completion. But you also have to consider, is it showing up in the past? Is it showing up in the present? Is it showing up in the here and now? Well, where it's showing up is in our conscious awareness, right? Our I am presence of this new moon in Aries with regard to closing out a cycle that's been painful because there's been something here that feels intentionally cruel. Hasn't felt good. Cruelty is the point of the Five of Swords. The deck stacked against you. Let me say that another time. The deck stacked against you in a way that's had you off balance, had you even feeling like a little like, am I losing my mind, right? That's the thing with gaslighting. When somebody tells you, no, I didn't say that. This is what I said. You said that. You're like, what? Wait, what? What? That's what I feel is coming through in this Five of Swords, especially given we're being crossed by that karmic energy that kind of goes on repeat in that Knight of Wands energy that is also a cycling card of repeating. So I feel like I'm seeing a clearness here. Four of Wands in the future. Oh, yeah. We're coming through it. We're going to find that emotional fulfillment, contentment, that happily ever after energy, or at the very least coming through this cycle with our emotions, like everything kind of going, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I worked that out. I'm so glad I pushed through it. I'm so glad I set those intentions. I'm so glad I didn't bury. So now that you see it, you cannot ignore it. When you know more, when you know better, you do better, right? So we're not going to ignore the Seven of Swords. We've got that Five of Swords right here. Our intention for this outcome is to put an end to that energy. We realize we've got old patterns kind of crossing us and a tendency to be complacent. No, 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 we cannot do that anymore. We're going to face it head on. We're going to make a choice for our highest good, and the outcome looks beautiful. Oh my gosh, so I'm just so excited, I can't even speak. What I'm going to do now is take it to the extended, and it's going to be an all signs reading. So here's how it works. I will be taking new decks. I'm going to bring out, a few new decks. Not new, but meaning not this deck. And I'm going to do Aries all the way through Pisces. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So no matter what sign you are, whatever your sun or rising sign, I will be reading Aries through Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the divine counterpart that you are dealing with. Got it? So you can read for your sun, you can read for your moon, you can read for your rising, you can read for your Venus. I'm doing all those readings and you can check it out. So the link to that is below, and we'll get a good handle on. We're going to look at the, how you're both showing up and what the issue is. That's maybe something you can set your intentions around to either clear up or to promote, whatever. So the link is below. I look forward to seeing you there, and I'm sending you new moon and Aries blessings. Take care.